Yes, didn't they fuck up the 28X? Doesn't it not go to Oakland now?
No, it does. It just takes 2 hours.
Oh, I know that. I used to do that all the time from when I used to fly home on like breaks and shit. Okay, cool. We're booked. All right. I'll be real with all you guys. I'm not doing an intro track to this episode. I think that we don't deserve it. If we're being totally honest. That being said, welcome back to Simplified Podcast. Honestly, this is not more much of a podcast as it is a vent session for what we witnessed this weekend. Um, I'm your host, Zack. I'm joined by my two co-hosts. We're all three back on the mic. Ian Labach and Mason Kling. Before I start getting really mad and whining myself about football, I want to start this off on a high note. I'd like to say, good job winning their third straight game or third straight match against Penn State in Penn State, 3-1. That is now, like I said, three straight. That is two straight bracketing their national championship. So one must wonder if their national championship is fraudulent. If they had to imbue some sort of devil magic in the KFC Yum Center to make sure that we did not make that finals last year using that black cardinal magic. But yeah, good job to the team. They started to gel. They've started to really play as a unit after starting the year off with number one ranked Nebraska. Everyone's freaking out. I told you they'd be fine. They'd be fine. I'm all out of whack. Ian, how we doing tonight?
Not too bad. I don't really want to relive this game, but we are vent session, so I kind of need it.
I
So
thought we
We
were just recapping Tennessee Georgia tonight. I didn't I wasn't aware we were hopping on the mics for this pick game.
yeah. Wait. There was another game at 3:00. I'll be honest. Like I saw that game like out of the corner of my eye sometimes, but like I was so like in like the fucking dark place from what is it from Get Out? Is it the dark place?
Sunken place.
So I was in the sunken place watching this fucking game. I knew that another TV at the bar had on the fucking Tennessee Georgia game. I was catching clips of it, and I saw the ending, but I was so pissed off that I could not bring my focus off of the Pitt West Virginia game because I don't know, dude. Maybe nothing's gonna beat 2023 in terms of a legitimately bad watch in this rivalry. This is probably going to take the cake of most frustrating.
This was a better game to watch. Like I think if you were somebody who didn't have any skin in this rivalry in this game, it was probably more fun than 2023, but I think equally as painful for us.
I would say 2023 sucked, but also like kind of as that season went on, you're just like, oh, we're just bad. Like we're just bad. The difference with this game is that we played a horrendous game from start to finish, and yet you could still argue that Pitt could have won this game by multiple scores. And frankly, like kind of should have.
100%. I've got some.
Sorry, not even multiple scores. Like this game shouldn't have gone to overtime. Like you probably fucking know this right now. Pitt loses 31-24 in West Virginia in overtime. Fucking now we have to sit with this shit for like offensively bad loss. Offensively bad loss. Now that we also have to sit with this loss for 3 fucking years. There is no comeback. There is nothing you can say next year. This is how it ended. You know, they go 2-2. Each team wins both games at home, but like they should have been 3-1. Fuck, dude.
debatably, if you start a different quarterback in 23, you could make an argument that we should have won all 4. And that's what's most frustrating about it.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's just fucking get into it. The theme of this game is missed opportunities. Like I kind of hinted at earlier, right? Because I'm pulling up the game on paper, I'm looking at the success rates, and frankly, both teams played poorly. Pitt, for the most part, outside the last 2 drives, the last drive regulation in overtime, keeps West Virginia in check. Both teams have a couple of explosive plays, but really nothing much from either side, right? It's just that Pitt was so fucking bad on third down and in the red zone. And I'm just going to go over this, right? Because these are the missed opportunities from this game. Starting off, scores 0-0 in the first quarter. Freshman kicker on the road misses a 43-yard field goal. I think that's probably the least egregious of them because it's a true freshman kicker, hostile road environment. But so just everyone to keep in track, that's 3 points that they're now missing from the end of the game, right? Next time up, they get down early in the second. They're down 7-0. Eli Holstein completes a pass. They're in the West Virginia red zone. They have the ball on the West Virginia 6 after a big pass to Poppy Williams and a targeting penalty on West Virginia. Eli runs it down to the 1. Eli runs it down to the 6 afterwards. So it's 2nd and 5 at the West Virginia 6. Eli throws the most dipshit brain dead pass into triple coverage, and not even just like a bad pass in triple coverage. He throws it to the fucking West Virginia defensive back. Just like you see the Pitt receiver turn around and watch this West Virginia D back catch the ball. So there, even if they fucking whiff it like they were doing all game and don't get in the end zone, that's another 3 points off the board. So that's 6 points off the board in a game tied at the end of regulation. Okay. Next up, they get down at the end, near the end of the fucking first half, right? Eli Holstein hits a fucking bomb to Bryce Yates. And Bryce Yates, for some fucking reason, instead of following Kenny Johnson and his block back to the middle of the field where there are no West Virginia players on the screen, he cuts it back outside and is tackled at the West Virginia 6. They fail to get past. Eli Holstein runs for a yard, gets his helmet knocked off. Cole Gonzalez throws a crazy fucking a screen pass that goes over the guy's head. And then Eli Holstein has another incompletion. They settle for a 23-yard field goal on the West Virginia 5 when they're down 7-0.
Also, on that drive, that was the 3rd and goal or whatever. It was a fade route to Kenny Johnson into triple coverage. Like that was it was a snap throw on a fade on like 3rd and goal from like the 5. It's like, do they have any like other play call?
Yeah, and even beyond that, Bryce Yates, if he doesn't follow if he follows Kenny Johnson, that's 7. That's another 4 points. We're up to 10 points on the board right now, right? So 10 points minimum from all these fuck ups, right? Because even then, even if he goes down, they still don't get it in. So, okay, that's the first half, right? And then the second half is where I really fucking lose my mind because West Virginia goes up 7-3 at halftime. And for how bad Pitt has played, this is a miracle that they were down 4. And Mason, we were watching this game with Blake, and Blake at the beginning of the game says, for those who don't know, Blake's our friend. He went to West Virginia, friend of podcast Ring of Honor, Kent Vanderwood. He says the only way that West Virginia wins this game if they fucking slop it up and make it messy for everybody involved. So already, first half's a fucking mess. No one can do anything. It's 7-3. So at halftime, Rich Rod inexplicably benches Nico Marchiol. Fucking 8-ball. God, that's... Like, straight up, Blake's telling me that Nico Marchiol, when his frat is like, yeah, he was a known cokehead. So we lost this game to a cokehead, by the way. He benches him for true freshman Scotty Fox Jr. And now, while Fox does lead a touchdown drive on his second drive, right? They go up 14-3. Eli has his pretty much. He hits a bomb to Poppy Williams on the next drive, and this is their only cash in of the day, right? They take 3 downs, but Eli Holstein walks it in on 3rd and goal, and they hit a very nice catch by Blue Hicks on the 2-pointer to make it 14-11. Very smart 2-point call there to make it a 3-point game. The end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth is where I lose my mind because Scotty Fox, the guy who Rich Rod inexplicably puts in for Nico Marchiol, throws 2 straight interceptions. He throws an interception that Pitt brings to the West Virginia 14 and one that Pitt brings to the West Virginia 24. So already you're in the red zone on both of these trips. The first drive, they get down to fucking 3rd and 3 at the 7, and then they get holding and intentional grounding to make it a fucking field goal, a 46-yard field goal. The second drive, on the 24, they get down to 3rd and 1 at the 15, and they do 2 straight false starts, bring it back out to the fucking 25, and then they got to kick a field goal. So that's another 8 points. That's now 18 points I've left on the board from just being fucking stupid, honestly. Like, it's mental mistakes, it's fucking penalties. Like, this team has such a this team, and I'm saying under Pat Narduzzi, has such a bad habit. And it's not even like a habit. They have poor coaching that they're just undisciplined in key moments. They're just awful in key moments. They are penalized in big games, all this shit. And even after all this shit, they're now up 17-14 with 11 minutes left in the fourth. And then, miraculously, they have a successful offense because West Virginia turns the ball over on downs next. So they get the ball at the West Virginia 47, and then they go score a touchdown and go up 10 points. They're up 10 points with 9 minutes left. And then the defense falls apart. They give up 10 points in the final 10 minutes. Overtime, I knew was fucking done. So they played the worst games of their lives. They're still up 10 with 10 minutes left. Not to mention the fucking punt call when you're at the West Virginia 37, up 7, with a chance to ice the game on 4th and 4 on the 37, and you just don't go for it. That was an insane call. You go for 2 when you're down 11, and now you're too fucking scared to go for it on 4th and 4. Cowardly call there. And like, this isn't even mentioning the fact that Eli Holstein early in the game missed 2 wide open touchdown throws. He missed them by like 5 yards each. That's another fucking 14 points. Like, you could see where this game becomes a blowout. It's just that on the 8 or 9 opportunities they had, they went 0 for 9 on everything and blew it. I've been talking for 10 minutes. Someone's got to take the fucking mic from me.
I mean, I won't, like, you hit the nail on the head with mostly everything. I think what got me the most, you talked about the penalties, but you didn't even talk about the boneheaded unnecessary roughness by BJ Williams. Like, you're in the fucking red zone, and it's after the place you get the first down, but you're in the same exact spot where you were when you had the third down. I mean, you talked about the back-to-back false starts. They're redshirt seniors, right? It was Keith Gouveia, both of them.
It was Gouveia was one. I don't know who the
or was Percy the other one. It was
it was Gouveia and Percy. So they're grad O-linemen.
Like this. I mean, it's like you talked about the kicker missing a kick. I expected that. Like it's an environment, it's a true freshman kicker. But
that's the one that I have no issues with. You have a true freshman kicker, and he's good because, like I said, he hits a 46-yarder later in the game. Like, he can kick from there. It's not that like he had a field goal from longer later in the day. It's not that that was like a bad choice. But I'm just saying, like, that one I can live with. It's the other ones, and like when you pile them on top, it's like, damn, if he made that kick, we fucking win the game.
Yeah, but I start with the tackle, the guard and the tackle with the false start. But then you look at the defense, which is supposed to be the heart and soul of this team. You have Biles and Lewis getting like offside or like encroachment penalties, like lining up offsides, like trying to time the snap count when you're up by 10, trying to time blitzes and stuff. Like these guys are like very veteran players who have played a lot of snaps. I just think it's inexcusable to have those mistakes in this game, in this environment. I understand it's like a tough road environment, but you have to be more disciplined than that because it's year 11 of the Pat Narduzzi era. And we've seen this time and time again. Mason, bring us up.
Yeah, I mean, I was in and out of this game at a wedding, so this was a roller coaster of emotions for me, going into halftime down 4, then seeing that we were up 10, only to find out that we know the outcome of the game. But I fully believe that this game was lost in the first quarter and earlier in the game. Like, you hit on it, Zach. All those opportunities, the defense did kind of choke in the fourth quarter, but also like they put the offense in so many good spots that those drives should not have even mattered. Right?
I agree.
That should have been garbage. That should have been garbage time. Let's let West Virginia throw the ball down the field anyway, because it doesn't matter. We're up 4 scores at this point. Like, it was so pitiful how we could have went out and just absolutely stomped on these guys, and we let them hang around, and that's what happens in a rivalry game like this, on the road, muck it up, might find a way to win, and they did. Like, people are gonna remember this for the game that went to overtime and we lost, but it was lost far before that.
I also think that I think the thing that drives me the most insane is I got at this is at halftime. Like Mark Hill was not playing well in the first half. He was playing not great. He did end up playing well when the defense just decided to shit down their pants. Like as a whole, the only unit that really played well on the defense all day was the D tackles. Like shout out to the D tackles. They were doing fucking awesome all day. But you get at it where it's like the narrative of this game, right? Even if we just flip one of say that instead of the interception in the end zone we score 3, the narrative of this game is that Rich Rod gave this game away by putting in a true freshman quarterback who throws back-to-back picks. Like, I'm sorry, if he doesn't do that, Pitt loses 21-6 because they were that bad on offense all day. You had a golden opportunity to make him look like a fucking moron for doing that. Scotty Fox throws 2 straight interceptions on 2 back-to-back passes. Like, the fact that they got 6 points off of those 2 fucking picks, both were down within the West Virginia 25, is fucking inexcusable. Like, that is the one that fucking drives me insane. I'll forgive Bryce Yates for being a true freshman, catching a bomb and trying to score. Like, he doesn't make it. Whatever. You're still on the fucking 3. Eli throwing the dumbest pick of all time is inexcusable. Like, Eli fucking throws that pick. He's overthrowing guys all day. The O-line is horrible, honestly. I think he was sacked 6 times. But the other part of this that we haven't addressed yet is that mysteriously Des Reed goes out. It's not addressed until the second half, but sometime during the first half, he goes out of the game with a lower body injury and does not return. So it's Juelz Goff and Kyrian Turner at running back. They don't run the ball at all. Like they just refuse to run the ball. And the offense became stale, even though they made it work. They ended up getting some explosive plays, ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. The fact that they just refused to run the ball for 30 minutes of game time once Des Reed goes down, what the fuck was Cade Bell thinking? Like, your quarterback has looked like dog ass all day. You're still in the game, but you refuse to run the fucking ball. I just don't get it.
I think you have I think it's 54 yards of total rushing yards or something like that.
I think they count sack yardage, so the trying to figure out what I don't know what the number is without sack yards. I don't have it up, but I think if you don't count sacks, you have something like 80 yards rushing, something like that.
I mean, that's so inexcusable against a West Virginia front that there's a couple times that I thought Goff was going to break a couple. And that's the other thing is I don't think Cade Bell trusts Juelz Goff in the slightest. I
think that's completely evident, and there's no reason for him not to.
I mean, everything I've heard, he looked good earlier this year. I think he looks bigger. I think the issue of not trying to establish the run when your quarterback has Happy Feet in the pocket and can't hit a ball to save his life. I don't think the I formation exists in Cade Bell's offense, and I don't think running between the tackles exists in Cade Bell's offense. And I think that it makes the offense very one-dimensional when you can't hit the long ball. And it's evident all the way back to last season when Des Reed was out the one game, and once we hit past the Cal game when teams were just making Eli Holstein make crazy reads, and I don't know. It just seems very one-dimensional.
I mean, they do run between the tackles. It just never works. It
down the stretch
shows
last year, were we this
up?
bad in the red zone down the stretch last year? Because I remember when I was really high on Pitt, this could be just an anecdote or a generalization, but when Pitt was winning games, it was because of these big burst plays. It never felt like it was really established a red zone offense. So I'm trying to think like down the road if that was an issue last year. Like, is that something we should be worried about with Cade Bell?
I mean,
Just asking.
historically, Cade Bell's offense doesn't really get he doesn't care about time of possession, or like all of our scoring drives last year were like 5 plays, big shot stuff. And the issue I think that causes is that you think Narduzzi's came out and said that he only cares when you put points on the board. He doesn't care about drives, which in a not necessarily this game because I think time of possession was very similar. Like West Virginia had it for 31 minutes, we had it for 29, so very similar. But there are games last year where we would have 20% of possession time, and you're asking your defense to go play so many more snaps, and you're asking Shadarian Harrison and Sean Lee to be in their first starting game, and you're asking them to go pretty much play a whole game by yourselves with no help, and you're living and dying on a couple of guys' first few games. So,
I mean, I think the only example of sustained drives last year, I would say, is the West Virginia game at home. They got the shit together at the end of the game. They had some sustained drives, and then the only other example I could tell you is the UNC game. They had very long drives. They closed out the game on a long drive. I couldn't even tell you if we had red zone problems at the end of last year because we didn't really get to the red zone. When everyone went down, it was just well, you either score from a little bit out or you just don't really score at all. It just shows that he's he's a 31-year-old OC. He's just fucking young, dude. And honestly, I'm just offended at how bad the O-line played too. Darvo might just not be the guy as your O-line coach. I think his his biggest role prior to this, being a grad assistant at Florida in P5 ball, and it's it's not cutting it. The O-line looks bad. Eli was fucking getting hit all day. They can't run the ball to save their lives, and even then, they still had some successful runs. So it's just run the ball. That was driving me crazy. Eli couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and they're still just not running the ball on purpose. That's what I just didn't get, because that's what just caused so many 3-and-outs through the middle of that game, and for the first half, in the middle, and through the third quarter, just yeah, Eli's not hitting any throws. He's gonna either hit a bomb or just do nothing.
I think also you touched on it there, 3-and-out. Cade Bell in his first year at Pitt was very bad on third down. Pitt was always 5 for 14, 4 for 20 on third downs, and it's just huge drive killers because with how his offense runs, if you don't run on first down, you're behind the sticks on second down, and then you're behind the sticks on third down, and you're asking your quarterback to do a lot more than they usually have to. So
yeah, they were 4 for 17 on third down in this game. They've been very, very bad on third down this year.
That's awful.
You're not winning games like that. I mean,
no. Well, part of that was what the third down situations that we were in too. You kind of hinted at it, Ian. It felt like West Virginia was at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 all game. Pitt was at 3rd and 15, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12. Yeah, no doubt you're gonna go 4 for 17, especially with the way that we were playing. West Virginia had the better blueprint.
And you know what I think the veteran coaching move in this game, the difference was? West Virginia loses their best player, running back Jaheim White, and they go to the next guy, Ty Edwards, and they say, "You're getting the ball, and we're running with you. It doesn't fucking matter. You're here to play for West Virginia." Ty Edwards finishes with, I believe, $140. But finishes with $140. They lost their best player, and they said, "Fuck it, next guy up." When we lose our best player, we already weren't running the ball, but then they were even more scared to run the ball. That is just that is just knowing how to coach. You have to believe in your guys no matter who is fucking carrying the ball. You still have to run the ball for an offense. It just kills me, man. This is a game that should have been won 5 or 6 times over, and 5 or 6, 8 or 9 times over. They just went 0 for 9. It boggles the mind on, in a rivalry game, in a game that can define your season, you come out flat, and then you also are given so many opportunities to not only win this game, but in a squeaker and just get out with a rivalry win. to blow it open, and you just miss on every single one. It's going to be tough to think about this for the next 3 years. I don't
That's the
fucking know,
worst
man.
part about this. We don't get revenge next year. I'm glad they renewed the rivalry, but yeah, it's tough to not get it for a while.
Oh yeah, they renewed the rivalry. I totally forgot to say that. Yeah, we're getting an 8-year series starting in 2029. Frankly, that renewal is too short. They should make like a fucking 10-year contract. If I was in charge, give me like a fucking 10, 20-year contract. You say we're playing this every year because I can't sit with this for 3 years. I'm just gonna be mad about it.
This game, you're doing college football a disservice if this game isn't played every year.
To the neutral fan, we have legitimately proven it. It's just like, hey, outside the 23 game where Phil Dracovic was out there farting on the field and getting some fresh air, I guess, they've been fucking crazy games.
Bangers
They've been
all
fucking
around.
insane,
Yeah.
crazy games with comebacks in I think 3 out of the 4 outside the fucking jerk off. Like, and that's what sucks about it. It was such a good game that losing it stings just that much more. You know what? I'll say it. I'm happy that I don't have to watch this team this weekend. I don't want to think about that. I'm glad that I get to have a weekend where I'm just like, I don't have to think about this team ruining my weekend just for a week. And get back to it next week. I can get mad all over again, but I get a little bit of a break. And that's
You've earned your
nice.
bye week.
Honestly, you with how that game went, you could not ask for a better bye week. I like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's a bury the tape game. Fucking.
I don't know if you can bury it though, because
you don't bury this tape. Yeah, you're right. It's like there's so many fuck ups on this tape that they should be fucking strapping Eli Holstein in to the fucking Clockwork Orange device and making him watch each of his fucking misses on repeat until he goes insane and becomes like a Terminator killer quarterback. Like, fuck.
that's the thing. If he hits like 2 of those like 10 missed passes, you're looking at a guy who threw for like 400 some yards. Like
The fakest 300-yard game of all time.
yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, is this the part of the episode where we say Pitt can still win the ACC? It's a non-conference loss, and we can talk ourselves into that.
I'm not going to say anything to that matter until I see this team prove themselves against Louisville by not legitimately. This was not a game that I'll give West Virginia credit for winning because, like I said before, Rich Rod tried as hard as he could to lose this game with Scotty Fox in a quarterback. This is a game where Pitt took a gun and shot themselves in the dick until they bled out. So, seeing as that is my most recent reference point for this team, I'm not going to say they can win anything. I think they can go 2-10. I think that's also a very good possibility because fuck, if they just shoot themselves in the dick like this, they're not going to beat anybody.
Yeah. Who does Louisville have this week? Who are they?
Bowling
Green. Louisville coming. Okay, that's not good.
They didn't look great against James Madison, but I mean, it's Louisville. They just have really good skill position players, and that's all we really know until we play them in 2 weeks.
That's a get right game. They have a bye this week too, so
yeah. I will say that I don't have anything else I want to say in this game. I think I've exercised my demons. I want to bring this up to you guys. Since winning the ACC title in 2021, do you know what Pat Narduzzi's overall record is?
Is it 20-19? 19-19?
That's your guess? Okay. We'll say you're saying 500?
Yeah.
I think it's probably a little less than that with the Jerkovich year. Get like 17-23.
Well, they went 9-4 after the ACC championship.
21-20.
Oh,
Pat Narduzzi has been playing 500 ball for 3 years. He is 5-11 on the road since the ACC title. And you can look at major marquee losses such as at Louisville and at UNC in 2022, at WU in 2023, at SMU and at Louisville last year, and now at WU.
That's
He
the
is
shitty thing
also
about Pitt, dude. They're fine with that.
they're also 0-3 in overtime games. I believe the last overtime game they won. Actually, no. He's 21-20. I mean, I don't know if I count the Peach Bowl. If you do, it's 21-21. But they lost the quarterback like 2 plays in that game. But he's also now 0-3 in overtime games. And I said this on last week's podcast. Ian, if they don't turn it around and turn this into like 9 wins after this, like I think at this moment right now, because we're just been seeing the same shit for fucking years, teams going into big games, undisciplined, unprepared, looking like assholes. The offense just fucking does not work. The O line is still shit. The Cade Bell offense, like I think he's honestly he might be too fucking far removed now, because if he was in Cade Bell's earpiece, he'd be like, run the fucking ball. He's overcorrected from the Signetti era where he was like trying to micromanage shit. Like this doesn't work. I know he's got, and the issue is, unfortunately, Pitt has 2 really fucking bad coaches with massive contracts. They have Pat Narduzzi, who outside of the miracle year in 21 with a bunch of super seniors and Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison is at best a 500, 600 ball coach. You got Jeff Capel, who's just fucking, I don't know, he gets to wear a suit twice a week, I guess. That's what his job description is. They don't really coach basketball.
They have
You
a
fire
night
one,
off.
you can really only fire one with how much fucking dead money is involved with their contract.
I'm firing Capel.
I also agree with that.
I'm sitting on the hill where, like, if I'm getting rid of one of them, I'm getting rid of Capel, because as we've seen in the recent days, Capel has lost his fastball and can't even recruit, which was like the one thing that people hired him for. I mean, these recruiting classes, like his calling card was being able to recruit from the Mike Krzyzewski coaching tree, and he can't even do that anymore. I mean, I don't know. I think basketball's in a worse spot than football, and that's, after this loss, saying a lot. I don't have anything else to say.
It's just something to keep in mind, man. If they don't turn it around, and I'm almost reticent to do this, but you can, in your heart of hearts, when I calm down, I can find it in myself to be like, they literally just missed on 9 plays. You flip one of those and they win, and you feel very differently. And because it was literally the outcome of just plays that were like a couple inches off or just a bad throw, I could see this team being good still. It's just the fact that in the last 3 years, how many times have we been in this situation where they've been close or they've been in situations to win and they don't do it? So I'll say it, man. Pat Narduzzi's on the fucking hot seat. And unfortunately, he's not really on. He's on a fucking hot seat that's made of ice because of his contract and being a giant anchor around this athletic department. But if I'm Alan Green, I'm calling the fucking richest people who went to this university and going, let's get some money in. Like straight up, this is just not acceptable in year fucking 11 to have a coaching and preparedness disaster class against your rival like this in a game that you should have won 5 times over.
Yeah, I think like being as someone who came to Pitt in 22 and like was hoping to reap the benefits of just winning an ACC championship and like trying to see like this program go into excellence like post ACC championship. Like we had 5-star recruits at those first couple games when I was there as a freshman. I was making signs for Akeem Williams to commit to Pitt. Like, which that
By the way,
hasn't
I
been
want
great.
to interrupt you. Doing nothing in Colorado, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
Continue.
he hasn't been great. But my point stands for Narduzzi had a chance to make this program be a predominant winner in the ACC, and I sat through a 3-9 season. Like, I don't know, it's that should have been the season, but like you said, the buyout was so high. I hope that Narduzzi takes that his like contract lawyer out multiple times year to some nice dinners because
Yeah, who's his fucking agent, man? I wonder if that's publicly available information.
I mean, I'd hope so. That's a great marketing tool for his agent.
It looks like
Scott Boras.
He's got to be a Boris guy, dude. Yeah, man. I don't know. If you're like a long time Simplify head, if you've been following us for a long time, you might remember I wrote an article for Meet at Midfield back in 2022. It's called the Pat Narduzzi Dilemma, where I kind of went over this. Where I'm like, hey, he's fine. He's probably the best coach in the 21st century, which is saying a lot, but he's not going to get you to that next level. And it's now been 2 years since that point, and I've only been proven right ever since. I'll put a link to that in the show description there. But yeah, man, I don't know. Fucking whatever, man. Fucking death, taxes, eat at Arby's. We all die anyway one day. I don't know. Georgia Tech upsetting Clemson was cool. I don't know. That's the only game I really watched.
ACC's wide open, minus Miami.
Miami's fraudulent. They'll be like 7-4 by the time we play them in November.
Hopefully, man. I can only hope. I'll be honest. I didn't really watch a lot of the other games of the weekend. I did catch some of the, like I said, Clemson. I watched Clemson, Georgia Tech. I think Haynes King is awesome. Tennessee, to my surprise, scored a lot of points on Georgia, but then didn't win because that's what Tennessee does against Georgia. I don't know. I think this is a really good weekend, though. I've literally not wanted to talk about college or think about college football the entire week, so I haven't really looked at the schedule looking ahead. But I do believe, yeah, this is actually a pretty good weekend. I mean, you've got good games in a lot of slots here. So I mean, you've got
Texas
pretty big game
at 12. Damn,
that's a good game to kick off with, man. Like that's 17 at 16. Like that is styles make fights. Texas Tech's airing it out. Utah's got a great running quarterback in Devin Dampier. Low key, like Maryland at Wisconsin, kind of like if you don't win this game, you might get fired in week 4. Syracuse at Clemson could be funny if Clemson loses again. I don't think they'll lose to Syracuse, but one can hope. I will say though, like 3:30, you have Auburn going to Oklahoma on ABC. That's going to be a fucking good one. I think what's the night slate here? I think there's like big one in the night slate.
Michigan, Nebraska could be fun. Did you say that?
I also think it's very funny that Michigan is being coached by Biff Poggi, the Maryland Catholic school coaching legend, just like wearing like cut off t-shirts and like just a lovely big fat guy to have in college football.
Are they better with him as a head coach? They're undefeated with him as a head coach, right?
Honestly, seeing as how they fuck out of Central Michigan and Bryce Underwood was running the ball, they should just consider making him the head coach the rest of the year if he wins this one. I'll say I just noticed this. I don't think Purdue Notre Dame is going to be a good game, but I don't know why Notre Dame is ranked in the top 25 at 0-2. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, if Notre Dame loses that game, is that a fireable offense?
Ooh.
Yes, Notre Dame fans will be furious.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't know.
Is that a Kenny Minchie time?
Ooh.
The Carr's been playing well though. It's not
the offense, it's the defense. Like for that team, which is really bad for Marcus Freeman, but I would hope for Notre Dame's sake that it's not Kenny Minchie time.
Yeah. See, it's crazy because not to glaze Notre Dame too much, but like, is their schedule crazy? Do they still have a chance of like making the playoff, or are they gonna drop a couple? Like,
I think they have to win out,
but they still have to win out.
Yeah,
because so let's talk Notre Dame for a second. Their schedule is this week home against Purdue. They go at Arkansas, home for Boise State, NC State, and USC. They go to Boston College, get a home game against Navy. They come to Pitt, get Syracuse at home, and Stanford on the road. If they don't win out, they should not be considered for the playoff.
Yeah, but they definitely could.
A 10-2 Notre Dame team is going to get in. Like I
Yeah,
think that's just a fact of life. But
yeah,
if they're 9-3 against that remaining schedule, you know, they have a bad loss on the schedule, and then like they don't have anything to stand on. Like that's just a bad team.
yeah.
They play bad teams.
Pitt has a
It's
chance to
the
do the funny thing.
it's the Notre Dame thing though. I don't like they never have a super tough schedule. They lose one game and they can sleepwalk to the playoff.
I think that the difference this year is that they lost both of their big games. They lost at Miami and A&M. You get either one of those, you can probably handle another loss. But the fact that they have both of those as losses now is, I think you have to get to 10 because you don't have anything else in your resume. You have to win 10 straight, basically.
Well, yeah, and they already set the scene for staying ranked 24 at this point. I mean, if they stack a couple wins together, they'll be the AP voters and probably the College Football Playoff Committee will keep them there.
Yeah, we'll have like number 11 Notre Dame like 3-2. That's disgusting to think about, dude. Um, um, I will say the night slate here is actually pretty good. We got a couple bangers. I think South Carolina, Missouri lost some luster after South Carolina. I think they got whooped up by Vanderbilt, right?
Well,
Mhm.
if Sellers got hurt, is there any word on Sellers playing in this game?
That's a awesome question that I'm trying to. He's probable for Mizzou. If
Okay.
he's not playing, don't watch this one. If he's playing, you can watch this one. But 7:30's got a couple of good games. This is what they invented the fucking double box on YouTube TV for. Florida going to Miami and Illinois going to Indiana. Like that's a good fucking nightcap
If
there.
you told me like 4 or 5 years ago that I'd be fucking tuning into Illinois, Miami for the best game in the Big Ten of the week, I'd be like, huh?
Illinois, Miami.
Oh, what did I say? Did I say Illinois,
You said
Miami?
Illinois, Miami.
Illinois,
That would be a
Indiana,
fucking banger
excuse me.
game, actually.
But yeah, the fact that this is the Big Ten game of the week is funny. That's very college football.
I want to point everyone's attention to the UNC game of the week. The Georgia State Panthers are starting TJ Finley, who's been to 7 colleges in his college career, and he's playing against Diego Pavia, who there was a rumor going around he was trying to get another year. He's not getting another year, but he's still UNC. So our UNC
No,
game of the week
he is
goes.
undoubtedly he is our. We lost Cam McCormick, the 9-year tight end from Miami, and the crown of college football's most prominent unk was thrust upon Diego Pavia. And I think it's better for him to have the crown because he's actually a good player. He's like a fun college player. He's not like a tight end, doesn't do much. But I'll also point out that Vanderbilt lost to Georgia State last year, which is very funny.
Oh, didn't Christian Veillere like throw for like 300 yards?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Like,
Hold
I
on.
feel like he had like I think he won like Player of the Week for his conference, like in that game,
Let me see. Player stats.
or maybe
Yeah, Christian Bayer was 26 of 41 for 269 and 3 touchdowns in that game.
Nice.
A 36-32 win over the Vanderbilt Commodores, who I believe the next week would go on to beat somebody very funny. Why is this so hard to read? 23.
And speaking of, while you looked that up, Zach, the Diego Pavia thing, they talked about it on Part of My Take, which is the only reason I know about this. But when he was, I guess, applying for his extra year, his offensive coordinator now, who came from the same
New
school as
Mexico
him,
State.
correct? Apparently, he has the same name as the Coastal Carolina head coach.
He does. Jason Beck.
Jason Beck, thank you. And so there was a possibility that Coastal Carolina coach, because I think his seat's pretty hot right now, possibility
Yes.
he gets fired. Jason Beck gets hired at Coastal Carolina, and we have like 8th-year Diego Pavia under Josh Beck.
Dude,
Now,
it's so funny that there's like a fucking bad Jason Beck at Coastal and then like the good Jason Beck at Vanderbilt, which is an awesome dynamic to have. I was mistaken. I was a week off, by the way. Vanderbilt lose to Georgia State. They then lose in overtime at Missouri. And then the week after that, they beat Alabama at home. So it was 2 weeks off, but just saying they've lost to them before. So I don't know. Also, late night games, actually, couple of good ones. Wyoming at Colorado. Colorado's been really bad, and Wyoming is a tough G5 team. I just like Wyoming because they have cool uniforms and a cool stadium. They're probably not going to win. I have a soft spot for them. I'll be honest. Cal at San Diego State. If you haven't watched JKS, go watch him. That's on CBS Sports Network. And then 11 o'clock on Fox is Michigan State at USC. Aiden Childs has kind of been balling out, dude. That's going to be a good game on the West Coast, and especially that game at 11 o'clock. That's awesome to have. You're gonna have a good game going until like 1:30 in the morning. Other than that, though, I might have been mistaken. This is kind of there's some really good top end matchups, and there probably will be other good games, but it is a lot of still like P5 on a P4 on G5. Like I will say, I'm gonna tap the Kent sign on the Ring of Honor. Christmas game of the week: Tulane going to Ole Miss. Tulane, by the way, 3-0 after beating Duke last week. So I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah, they've whooped up on some Power 5 teams. I know it's not saying much, but they beat the shit out of Northwestern. Um, they're not a team to play with. Ole Miss can definitely lose that one if they play with their food.
Ole Miss also, backup quarterback Austin Simmons is hurt.
And even with Simmons, they didn't look great in their last two games over like SEC bottom feeders in Kentucky and Arkansas. Like, I think Ole Miss is gettable for sure.
Did Simmons play last week?
I believe he did.
I know he was questionable at game time, and I didn't check.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't. Sorry, it was He did. He had one pass, but it was mainly Trinidad Chambliss.
And he'll have
That's a fucking name right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all-time name. Yeah. That's been sidelined by a foot injury.
Turf toe really gets you.
Yeah.
Joe Burr.
Joe Burr.
Ruining my fantasy team already. We're 2 weeks in. I'm dead. It's a bad place to be right now mentally. And then I honestly, just to close us out, I'm so glad that I don't get the Jets on local TV here in Baltimore. I don't pay for Sunday ticket. I'm a fucking cheapo. If I had to watch that after, like,
Taylor.
If I had to watch the Jets like on my couch, hungover, still like depressed after the West Virginia win, then just see them just poop their pants till they die against the Bills like that probably would have been the final straw. But I got to watch the Ravens, which they're a fun team to watch. Just a lot more fun than any of my teams this weekend. But I don't know. You guys got anything else?
I mean, we'll be here to preview Louisville next week. I'll have my optimism back by then.
Yeah, this will sting a little less next week.
Yeah, we've got the venom out. We got the poison out. We are burning the tape on this one. Like I said, I hope the entire team and Cade Bell have been trapped in the Clockwork Orange device and are watching this game film until they bleed from their eye sockets. Thank you for sticking around. We'll be back next week to talk our Louisville preview. And I'm going to try and have Dom on to do an overdue volleyball episode now that the team looks like a team. So with that, if you like the show, follow us on your podcast app of choice. Give us a 5-star rating, please. And follow us on Twitter at Semple5Pod. We'll see you next time.
Hail to Pitt.